House. So if Pence goes down with Trump, they're gonna shift Pelosi into.
Well.
Well, I typed in current SP, and the first option that popped up was current Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Everybody is searching for the same stuff. They're like, wait, if this all goes pear-shaped for Trump, like for real, who gets it? And it's gonna be fucking Pelosi. And they've got a Democratic-led House, and they don't have the Senate.
Things people weren't thinking about. I was just thinking, let's not let Mike Pence become president.
Nope. Oh no, he's so deep in Trump shit. There's no way he can skate. He's not Teflon Don.
Hallelujah.
And even Teflon Don isn't gonna skate from this one. My mom just told me to try her. She gave me the password. I asked her, "Did you get the password?" Now, what I meant is the account name and password. She gave me the password to her Wi-Fi. She's like, "Try this," and it's like, I know for a fact that's your Wi-Fi network password.
Silly mommy.
Well, because he's already in the building, why not just keep using him?
I was in the area.
Which network do we need? Oh.
You think Samaro broke it first?
Oh, I saw this on YouTube. So good. Don't. My mom is still trying to convince me it's her fucking Wi-Fi password because she's like, well, those are the only 2 passwords I know. It's like, no, the account for your actual, like, the account you log into when you pay your bill. That account. And as soon as she sent me those Wi-Fi passwords, you know what she texted immediately after? Oh, crap, now I gotta change all my passwords. It's like, that's not how that works. It's Wi-Fi. It only works in the Wi-Fi.
Why would you have to change it?
That's what I was, I don't know. I'm not even gonna bother anymore. You know, she's gonna give me her laptop because she's convinced that it's a piece of shit. Because she messed something up and she won't take it to see an IT guy. She's just convinced it's a piece of shit. I'm gonna fucking laugh my ass off because I'm gonna get a laptop, and then you can use that for your for this, and I can take my computer back because I need my computer to do some extra stuff. Actually, start my Twitch stream and my other stuff. Oh my god! Oh, this was the sketch I sent you earlier. I think on Insta. Kind of peaced out into the woods with my dog. Oh, second musical act. Or performance.
don't think I'd watch a whole concert of that.
Like, if there's one of her videos mixed into a playlist, I wouldn't object. But I don't know if I want a whole playlist of her.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd be like, no, this is a lot.
I don't know what to do. I know what I'm going to do. First of all, I'm going to go put some of that shrimp stuff into a pot on the board.
Do you work tomorrow?
In the morning, yes. Why?
Just checking.
I work tomorrow morning. Yes, yes. Today was supposed to be like the busy super prep day so that tomorrow we could just skate through and do cakes and shit and on the spot stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, we get a message when we get there. Oh, sorry we didn't deliver the mini tart shells. They're not ready yet, and they won't be for a few hours. But we'll drive them right over. And then they showed up with, like, 2/3 of them. And we're like, sorry, the rest won't be done till tomorrow morning. So now Haley, the girl who's been training me, tomorrow being her last day, has to get there at 4 so that she can start finishing the tarts, because they all still need to be topped and or filled. And then she needs to build all like 30 orders of tarts that are to go out tomorrow, plus ones for the store. And while she's doing that, I'm going to be doing like cakes for the case and stuff, and doing just basic tarts and keeping everything full and supplied. But it's gonna be a bitch of a day. Like today, I had to stop doing all pastry stuff. I didn't even do dishes with Haley because I had to stop at like 1 o'clock and start making like pastries again, like the stuff we make overnight, because they sold. I had to start at noon because they sold out of everything, but almost everything by 9:30, 10 o'clock this morning. Like all the croissants, all the scones, just gone. Cinnamon rolls, gone. Nothing. There was like plain croissants and like a couple other cookie things, but that was it. Nothing else. And so I had to make like emergency pretzels and croissants and shit all at the end of the day. Because it was
everything sold out fast.
Because the store was going to be open for another 6 hours after I finished. So when I started, it was 7 hours, and by the time I finished, it was like 5.5, 6 hours. And that's too long to have just like cookies left. And that's it. Cookies and tarts.
Well, I just cleaned, deep cleaned half of the oven, so try not to,
I won't fill the pot too much, and I'll put a lid on it.
Yeah.
That's the plan. Okay, but yeah, no, I gotta leave. Gotta leave at the same time I did today. But then I should be back at about the same time tomorrow, maybe a little later because it is gonna be busy. Depends on what I gotta do. I'm probably gonna be making cakes all day. I'm gonna try and sneak out of there with a cake for us and a cake at Mom's house. When I sneak out of there, I mean pay for it, but actually like build them and set them aside so that nobody can buy them. Because we told people, we've been telling people for the last 2 days, no, the cutoff was 2 days ago. You cannot order anything else. What is made that day for the case, y'all can fight over it.
Like animals.
First people here get first crack. And people are frothing at the mouth to get this shit. The cake I want to get is called a Metro. And it is glorious.
What is it?
It's chocolate and vanilla cake. So it's all our cakes are 3 layers. And so the Metro is either 2 chocolate and 1 vanilla, or vice versa, depending on what we have more of.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's a buttercream dam on the outside, has a ring on the outside of every layer, and in the middle it is coffee simple syrup, chocolate mousse, caramel drizzle, ganache drizzle, maybe something else. And then the outside is smooth buttercream all over, meh. But then we take our caramel and we drizzle it all over the cake, and we take the back end of a spatula and smooth it around until it makes a golden marble effect all over the cake.
Lovely.
I'll make sure it doesn't have nuts in it, but I don't think it does. So I can always take a tart to Mom's because that'll hold, and I can bring the Metro for us. Because 2 hours on the bus will be just about right for it to warm up to eating temperature.
Get us a vanilla chocolate one.
That's if there's one like that built.
Hopefully.
If there is one in the case, I'll snag it. Because I'm going to be, starting next Monday. This was only the second week they had me on this station. Next week I'm going to have to run it by myself. And I haven't been trained on like everything, and I'm still really rough on the cakes. Because I was never a decorator. It's never been my strong suit. Thankfully, we don't do
I'm
overly
OCD enough, but I've never been as much of a baker as you. That's why I never dedicated myself to it. If I was as much of a baker as you, because I'm OCD enough, I would have dedicated myself to decorating.
I can do basic deco, but
because I'm really more of a chef, I was like, I'm not going to dedicate myself to the OCD of
I can do basic stuff really nice.
Yeah, I can do basic stuff really nice, so...
But I'm nuts and bolts. I'm not the finishing touches. I'm the nuts and bolts. I make this stuff good. Although their cake recipes are weird, and like my vanilla cake today came out funky, like all pockmarked with little pockets of dry. Like it didn't mix properly. But that's because Rachel got freaked out the first time she saw me make cake, and she's like, "You're over mixing it." It's like you mix until the dry is incorporated. And she's like, "No, that's over mixing." She's a terrible baker. And it's because she doesn't actually like exercise her skills anymore. She thinks she does, but she doesn't. She's just terrible with our fucking recipes.
You mix until it's combined and then you stop.
Yeah. But there's still big old things like powder.
Yeah, as soon as it's combined, you stop. But you stop as soon as it's combined. Yeah. You have to let it combine.
No, I don't know. But, so I need to work on that a little bit. But their meringue recipe is super easy. Their buttercream recipe is super easy. And then the ganache is literally, it's 4 pounds of chocolate, 1/2 gallon of cream. That's it. So easy. And we use that shit on everything. They do one of their cakes, a couple of their cakes, they do naked frosting because that's a thing now. Where they basically put frosting on the cake and then scrape it back down to what the equivalent of a crumb coat. Because that's the new hip style. I want my cake to have touched frosting, but I don't actually want frosting on it.
These skinny bitches today.
I hate them. But one of the cakes is called the Afternoon Delight. It is vanilla cake, Earl Grey simple syrup, creme brulee filling, a buttercream jam, and I want to say crushed raspberries. Yes, crushed raspberries. Outside is a naked buttercream, so very little buttercream. So for people who don't like buttercream like me, and I don't think you really like buttercream.
Which kind?
Buttercream. Like straight buttercream.
No, I like whipped cream.
Yeah, exactly. So for people who like buttercream in moderation, it's actually pretty good. And then we sprinkle some Earl Grey leaves on top with fresh raspberries. It's actually not a bad cake.
I figured out where she is from. She's the girl that is his baby mama in Cougar Town. Dancing on the bar.
Did you get a contact at the National Weather Service? I'm trying to get a tropical storm upgraded back to a hurricane. Oh, sure thing. I can call Bernie's storm designations. Oh, really? No. There's no Bernie storm designations. There's a Barney and weather.
Antonio, out of the kitchen.
Nobody asked you to come in here.
Out, Antonio. Antonio, get out of there. No. Watch George in the jungle. While I figure out what I was looking for. Here.
Yeah, I don't think we can count on my mom for that password. Because at this point she'd have to ask Jeff. And Jeff being the
Antonio.
pain in the ass. The kind of guy who'll be like, no, why would I give somebody my passwords? Brr.
Antonio, stop going in there. I'm not kidding. Come over here and lay down. Come over here. Lay down. Good boy.
Well, I mean, we got the turkey pardon within 6 hours. That's important news.
That's basically how it works.
Where's this playing?
Hulu.
Oh, is this the one with Brendan Fraser?
Uh-huh.
Such a good movie. He is.
Antonia, stop it. Antonio.
Frame these complicated issues in the form of a simple question.
Friends, I definitely have friends.
Pro quo. As I testified previously, with regard to the requested White House call and the White House meeting, the answer is yes.
Antonio, get out of there.
Mr. Giuliani conveyed to Secretary Perry, Ambassador Volker, and others that President Trump wanted a public
Come
statement
here.
from President Zelensky committing to investigations of Burisma and the 2016 election. Mr. Giuliani expressed those requests directly to the Ukrainians, and Mr. Giuliani also expressed those requests directly to us. We all understood that these prerequisites for the White House call and the White House meeting reflected President Trump's desires and requirements. Within my State Department emails, there is a July 19th email. This email was sent.
So this is
email was
Gordon
sent
Sondland.
to Secretary Pompeo,
Spilling tea.
Secretary
Yes.
Perry,
Tea. A tea
Brian
party's worth
McCormick,
of
who
tea.
is Secretary Perry's chief of staff at the time, Miss Kenna, who is the who is the executive secretariat for Secretary Pompeo, Chief of Staff Mulvaney, and Mr. Mulvaney's senior advisor Rob Blair. A lot of senior officials. A lot of senior officials. Here is my exact
A lot of
quote
senior
from that
officials.
email.
All the senior
I
officials.
talked to Zelensky just now. He is prepared to receive POTUS's call. We'll assure him that he intends to run a fully transparent investigation and will turn over every stone. He would greatly appreciate a call prior to Sunday so that he can put out some media about a friendly and productive call, no details, prior to Ukraine election on Sunday. Chief of Staff Mulvaney responded, I asked the NSC to set it up for tomorrow. Everyone was in the loop. It was no secret. Everyone was informed via email on July 19th, days before the presidential call. As I communicated to the team, I told President Zelensky in advance that assurances to run a fully transparent investigation and turn over every stone were necessary in his call with President Trump.
So my birthday present was the thing that will eventually get Trump thrown out of office. Okay, I dig it.
So that was a clip.
Oh wow, they have all 7 hours and 19 minutes of it.
Yeah. We can.
With 1.5 million views. You know what? Good people. Watching their C-SPAN.
Wayfair's biggest Black Friday blowout ever is now on. Score unbelievable savings, like living room up to 70%.
Wow, I love that the first half hour, 40 minutes
That's
of it's
C-SPAN for you.
just them setting up.
That's why you can turn on C-SPAN to get stuff done. You can go do your
His
dishes.
refusal to being here in turn
I hate that shit. I hate every
You can clean your house.
benefits him. Benefits him.
Give your kids a bath. Make yourself a plate of food. Get your breakfast ready. You're going to take meal breaks. You'll be able to get a meal.
Congress may not move fast.
But they move at a reasonable pace that allows you to get things done too. You'll be like, oh, let's make a day of it. You go pick up your kids from school, you listen to it on NPR in the car. You get back home, pick it back up on TV. Now the kids join in, you let them know what they missed out on during the day. You order pizza and stuff while you guys watch. Like, nope, we're not cooking tonight. We're watching these fucking hearings.
Now, if you really want to make it an enjoyable evening, you make a drinking game out of it. Take a drink, and every time somebody says collusion.
Now, every time you see one of the senators doze off,
you have to chug your beer.
A staff aide had to nudge that senator. He was sleeping. Chug. This dude is straight up laughing. He is too comfortable. How is he giddy? Before a House Intelligence Committee, you're giddy, you're laughing, they're mad. They're like, how dare he be smiling? How dare he be laughing? We're about to grill the fuck out of him. We're about to grill the smile off of his face. He's disrespecting us with a laugh.
He's a millionaire. He doesn't give a shit. His job doesn't mean nothing to him.
They're like, that's why we don't hire billionaires for these jobs.
This job was just a fun little detour for him in life.
How dare he be smiling?
Something that he's going to be able to dine out on as a story for the rest of his life. And that's all he wanted. He wanted to be a name.
Motherfuckers are comfortable. That's why these people are just passing on these hearings like, whatever. I have lawyers.
Good morning, everyone. This is the fifth in a series of public hearings the committee will be holding as part of the House of Representatives Impeachment Inquiry. Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare a recess at any time. There is a quorum present. We will proceed today in the same fashion as our other hearings. I'll make an opening statement, and then Ranking Member Nunes will have the opportunity to make a statement. And we will turn to our witness for an opening statement, and then to questions. Audience members, we welcome you and respect your interest in being here. In turn, we ask for your respect as we proceed with today's hearing. It is the intention of the committee to proceed without disruptions. As chairman, I'll make all necessary and appropriate steps to maintain order and to ensure the committee is run in accordance with House rules and House Resolution 660. With that, I now recognize myself to give an opening statement to the impeachment inquiry into Donald J. Trump, the 45th President of the United States.
It'll be salty without the rice.
This morning we will hear from Sondland, the American ambassador to the European Union. We are here today as part of the House of Representatives Impeachment Inquiry because President Donald Trump sought to condition military aid to Ukraine in an Oval Office meeting with the new Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in exchange for politically motivated investigations that Trump believed would help his re-election campaign. The first investigation was of a discredited conspiracy theory that Ukraine, not Russia, was responsible for interfering in the 2016 election. The second
Puppy, you just
investigation
ate,
that Trump
don't
had
whine.
demanded was into a political rival that he apparently feared most, Joe Biden. Trump sought to weaken Biden and to refute the fact that his own election campaign in 2016 had been helped by a Russian hacking and dumping operation and Russian social media campaign directed by Vladimir Putin to help Trump. Trump's scheme undermined military and diplomatic support for a key ally and undercut U.S. anti-corruption efforts in Ukraine. Trump put his personal and political interests above those of the United States. As Ambassador Sondland would later tell career Foreign Service Officer David Holmes immediately after speaking to the president, Trump did not give an expletive about Ukraine. He cares about big stuff that benefits him, like the Biden investigations that Rudy Giuliani was pushing. Ambassador Sondland was a skilled deal maker, but in trying to satisfy a directive from the president, found himself increasingly embroiled in an effort to press the new Ukrainian president that deviated sharply from the norm in both terms of policy and process. In February, Ambassador Sondland traveled to Ukraine on his first official trip to that country. While in Kyiv, he met with then U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Ivanovich, and found her to be an excellent diplomat with a deep command of Ukrainian internal dynamics. On April 21st, Zelensky was elected president of Ukraine and spoke to President Trump, who congratulated him and said he would look into attending Zelensky's inauguration, but pledged to send someone at a very, very high level. Between the time of that call and the inaugural on May 20, Trump's attitude towards Ukraine hardened. On May 13th, the president ordered Vice President Mike Pence not to attend Zelensky's inauguration, opting instead to dispatch the self-dubbed Three Amigos, Energy Secretary Rick Perry, Ambassador Sondland, and Ambassador Kurt Volker.
Yes, they self-dubbed the Three Amigos.
Inauguration, members of the U.S. delegation briefed President Trump on their encouraging first
That
interactions.
is so
with the new Ukrainian
douchey.
administration.
Oh my
He
God!
urged the
Isn't
president
this
to
the
meet with
douchiest
Zelensky,
presidency ever?
but the president's reaction was decidedly
They've got a
hostile.
lot of competition on
The
that
president's
front.
order was clear, however. Talk with Rudy.
No, we're not talking ratchet. We're talking.
During this meeting, Ambassador Sondland first became aware of what Giuliani and the president were really interested in. This whole thing was sort of a continuum. He
If
testified
we were talking
at his
ratchet,
deposition,
BJ. Okay.
starting at the May 23rd meeting, ending
Is
up
this still
at the
Nunes
end
talking?
of the line when the transcript of the call came out. It was a continuum, he would explain,
I mean,
that became more insidious over time. The Three
You're
Amigos were
pretty
disappointed
douchey.
with Trump's directive to engage Giuliani,
True.
but vowed to press ahead. Ambassador Sondland testified, we could
Oh,
abandon
it's
the
Adam
goal of
Schiff,
the White
okay.
House meeting for President Zelensky, which the group deemed crucial for U.S.-Ukrainian relations, or we could do as President Trump directed and talk to Mr. Giuliani to address the president's concerns. We
This
chose
guy is
the
dead
latter
staring
path.
into the camera. The dude behind him.
In the coming weeks, Ambassador Sondland got more clearly involved in Ukraine policymaking, starting with the June 4 U.S. mission to the EU Independence Day event in Brussels 1 month early. Secretary Perry, Ulrich Breckbull, and the State Department counselor, and Sondland met with President Zelensky, whom Sondland had invited personally on the margins of the event. On June 10, 2019, Secretary Perry organized a conference call with Sondland, then National Security Advisor John Bolton, Volker, and others. They reviewed Ukraine's strategy with Bolton and decided that Perry, Sondland, and Volker would assist Ambassador Bill Taylor, the new acting ambassador in Kyiv, on Ukraine, and discuss Trump's desire for Rudy Giuliani to be somehow involved. At the end of the call, according to Sondland, we all felt very comfortable with the strategy moving forward. 2 weeks later, on June 27th, Ambassador Sondland called Taylor to say that, quote, Zelensky needed to make clear to President Trump that he was not standing in the way of investigations. On July 10th, Ambassador Sondland and other U.S. officials met at the White House with a group of U.S. and Ukrainian officials. Participants in the meeting have told us that Ambassador Sondland invoked acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney and said that the White House meeting sought by the Ukrainian president with Trump would happen only if Ukraine undertook certain investigations. National Security Advisor Bolton abruptly ended the meeting upon hearing this. Undeterred, Sondland brought the Ukrainian delegation downstairs to another part of the White House and was more explicit. According to witnesses, Ukraine needed to investigate the Bidens or Burisma and the 2016 election interference if they wanted to get a meeting at all. Following this meeting in July, Bolton said that he would not be part of whatever drug deal Sondland and Mulvaney are cooking up on this. Sondland continued to press for a meeting, but he and others were willing to settle for a phone call as an intermediate step. On July 21, Taylor texted Sondland that, quote, President Zelensky is sensitive about Ukraine being taken seriously, not merely as an instrument of Washington domestic re-election politics. Sondland responded, absolutely. But we need to get the conversation started and the relationship built, irrespective of the pretext, so that Zelensky and Trump could meet and all of this will be fixed. On July 25th, the day of the Trump-Zelensky call, Volker had lunch in Kyiv with a senior aide to Ukrainian President Zelensky and later texted the aide to say that he'd heard from the White House, assuming President Z convinces Trump he will investigate, get to the bottom of what happened in 2016, we will nail down date for a visit to Washington. Good luck. Ambassador Sondland spoke
he's not
to
looking
President
too
Trump a few
smiley
minutes
right
before the
now.
call was placed, but was not on the
Right.
call. During that now infamous phone call with Zelensky, Trump responded to the Ukrainian expression of appreciation for U.S. defense support and request to buy more Javelin anti-tank missiles by saying, I would like you to do us a favor, though. Trump asked Zelensky to investigate the discredited 2016 conspiracy theory and even more ominously, look into the Bidens. Neither had been part of the official preparatory material for the call, but they were in Donald Trump's personal interest and the interests of his re-election campaign. And the Ukrainian president knew about both in advance, in part because of Ambassador Volker and Ambassador Sondland's efforts to make him aware of what the president was demanding. Around this time, Ambassador Sondland became aware of the suspension of security assistance to Ukraine, which had been announced on a secure interagency video conference on July 18th, telling us that it was extremely odd that nobody involved in making and implementing policy towards Ukraine knew why the aid had been put on hold. During August, Sondland participated in conference calls and text messages with Volker and Giuliani and said that the gist of every call was what was going to go in the press statement. In an August 9 text message with Volker, Sondland stated, I think POTUS really wants the deliverable, which was, according to Sondland, a deliverable public statement that President Trump wanted to see or hear before a White House meeting could happen. On September 1, Ambassador Sondland participated in Vice President Pence's bilateral meeting with Zelensky in Warsaw, during which Zelensky raised the suspended security assistance. Following that meeting, Sondland approached a senior Ukrainian official to tell him that he believed what could help them move the aid was if the Ukrainian prosecutor general would go to the mic and announce that he was opening the Burisma investigation. Sondland told Taylor that he had made a mistake by telling the Ukrainians that an Oval Office meeting was dependent on a public announcement of investigations. In fact, everything was dependent on such an announcement, including security assistance. But even the announcement by the Prosecutor General would not satisfy the President. On September 7, Sondland spoke to the President and told Tim Morrison and Bill Taylor about the call shortly thereafter. The President said that although this was not a quid pro quo, if President Zelensky did not clear things up in public, we would be at a stalemate. Moreover, an announcement by the Prosecutor General would not be enough. President Zelensky must announce personally that he would open the investigations. Sondland told Taylor that President Trump is a businessman. When a businessman is about to sign a check to someone who owes him something, he said the businessman asked that person to pay up before signing the check. The check referred to here was the U.S. military assistance to Ukraine, and Ukraine had to pay up with investigations. Around early September, Volker and Sondland sought to close the deal on an agreement that Zelensky would announce investigations. After Taylor texted Sondland on September 9, 2019, that "I think it's crazy to withhold security assistance for help with a political campaign." 16 days later, the transcript of the July 25th call was made public, and the American people learned the truth of how our president tried to take advantage of a vulnerable ally. Now it is up to Congress, as the people's representatives, to determine what response is appropriate. If the president abused his power and invited foreign interference in our elections, if he sought to condition, coerce, extort, or bribe an ally into conducting investigations to aid his re-election campaign, and did so by withholding official acts, a White House meeting, or hundreds of millions of dollars of needed military aid, it will be up to us to decide whether those acts are compatible with the office of the presidency. Finally, I want to say a word about the President and Secretary Pompeo's obstruction of this investigation. We have not received a single document from the State Department, and as Ambassador Sondland's opening statement today will make clear, those documents bear directly on this investigation and this impeachment inquiry. I think we know now, based on a sample of the documents attached to Ambassador Sondland's statement, that the knowledge of this scheme
That
was
statement made a lot
far
of shit
and
clear.
wide, among other Secretary of State
Like, it was
Pompeo,
basically like,
as
these
well as
are
Vice
the
President.
facts.
You can see
The
why
paper trail.
Secretary Pompeo,
Digital
Right.
paper
President
trail.
Trump,
Paper trail,
Made such a
recordings,
concerted
evidence, testimony.
Y'all don't hide
support
shit well.
effort
Yeah,
obstruct
that was all
this
very
investigation
detailed
and this
evidence.
impeachment
They didn't need
inquiry.
deep throat. They needed
I will just say
bald-headed
this.
motherfucker.
They do so at their own peril. I remind the President that Article 3 of the impeachment articles drafted against President Nixon was his refusal to obey the subpoenas of Congress. With that, I recognize Ranking Member Nunes for any remarks that he
He's
would
not
wish
wrong.
to make.
That's one of the things they nailed
Gentlemen.
Nixon on.
As we learned last night,
Oh, Nunes.
story time last night, we get story time first thing this morning. Ambassador Sondland, welcome. Glad
I
you're here.
hate Devin Nunes so much.
Glad you're
And these
here.
soulless pieces
Welcome
of shit
to
who
the fifth
sold
day
their...
of this service. As I've noted before, the Democrats on this committee spent 3 years accusing President Trump of being a Russian agent. In March 2018, after a year-long investigation, Intelligence Committee Republicans issued a 240-page report describing in detail how the Russians meddled in the 2016 elections and making specific recommendations to improve our election security. Announcing the report as a whitewash and accusing Republicans of subverting the investigation, the Democrats issued their own report, focusing on their now debunked conspiracy theory that the Trump campaign colluded with Russia to hack the elections. Notably, the Democrats vowed at the time to present a further, quote, comprehensive report, unquote, after they finished their investigation into Trump's treasonous collusion with Russia. For some completely inexplicable reason, after the implosion of their Russia hoax,
But you're supposed
Democrats
to.
failed to issue that comprehensive report. We're still waiting. This episode shows how the Democrats have exploited the Intelligence Committee for political purposes for 3 years, culminating in these impeachment hearings and their mania to attack the president. No conspiracy theory is too outlandish for the Democrats. Time and time again, they floated the possibility of some far-fetched malfeasance by Trump, declared the dire need to investigate it, and then suddenly dropped the issue and moved on to their next asinine theory. A sampling of their accusations and insinuations includes these. Trump is a longtime Russian agent, as described in the Steele dossier. The Russians gave Trump advance access to emails stolen by the DNC and the Hillary Clinton campaign. The Trump campaign based some of its activities on these stolen documents. Trump received nefarious materials from the Russians through a Trump campaign aide. Trump laundered Russian money through real estate deals.
Spicy.
Trump
Even
was
loaded with
backed
rice?
by Russia through his financial exposure of Deutsche Bank. Trump had a diabolical plan to build a Trump Tower in Moscow. Trump changed the Republican National Committee platform to hurt Ukraine and benefit Russia. The Russians laundered money through the NRA for the Trump campaign. Trump's son-in-law lied about his Russian contacts while obtaining his security clearance. It's a long list of charges, all false. And I could go on and on and on, but I'll spare you for these moments. Clearly, these ludicrous accusations don't reflect committee members who are honestly searching for the truth. They are the actions of partisan extremists who hijacked the Intelligence Committee, transformed it into the Impeachment Committee, abandoned its own oversight functions, and turned it into a beachhead for ousting an elected president from office. You have to keep that history in mind as you consider the Democrats' latest catalog of supposed Trump outrages. Granted, a friendly call with the Ukrainian president wouldn't seem to rise to the same level as being a Russian agent. The Democrats were running out
It
of
would
time.
almost
They
be
waited
worth
any longer. Their
moving
impeachment circus
to
would intervene
the
with their
fucking
own
22nd,
2020
22nd congressional
campaign.
district just to be able to vote him out of office.
So you have to give them points for
It would
creativity,
almost be worth it.
selling
And there's
this
nothing
absurdity
there.
as an impeachable offense.
There's nothing there.
All this explains why the Democrats have gathered zero
That's how he
Republican
doesn't get
support
voted
I mean,
out.
I mean,
in
it's
the House
north of
Representatives
Bakersfield.
for their impeachment crusade.
That's how he doesn't get voted
In
out.
fact, the vote we held was a bipartisan vote.
There's not
against
enough people there to vote him out.
Speaker Pelosi, Chairman Schiff, and Chairman Nadler, the key figures behind this impeachment crusade, all proclaimed that impeachment is so damaging to the country that it can only proceed with bipartisan support.
I mean,
Those declarations suddenly no longer true.
it's not that
Did
there's
impeachment become less
no
divisive?
Californians that agree with him.
Of course not. They know exactly what kind of
It's
damage
that.
they're inflicting
He's
on
still
this
a
nation,
dick.
that they've passed the point of no return. After 3 years of preparation work, much of it spearheaded by the Democrats on this committee, using all the tools of Congress to accuse, investigate, indict, and smear the president,
Hmm.
they stoked a
I
frenzy
love
amongst their
small
most fanatical
newspapers
supporters
sometimes.
that they can
The
no
Fresno
longer
Bee,
control.
letters to the editor, Nunez embarrasses the
Ambassador
district.
Sondland, you are here today to be smeared. You'll make it through it. And
The
I
Fresno
appreciate your service to
Bee.
this country, and I'm sorry that you've had to go through this.
Not to you, the Fresno
closing.
Bee.
Democrats have zeroed in on an
Why would they
anonymous
care about the
whistleblower
Endangered
complaint
Species Act? Oh
that
my
was
god.
cooked up in cooperation with the Democrats on this very committee. They lied to the American people about that cooperation and refused to let us question the whistleblower to discover the truth. Meanwhile, the Democrats lash out against anyone who questions or casts doubt on this spectacle. When Ukrainian President Zelensky denies anything improper happened on the phone call, the Democrats say that he's a liar. When journalists report on Ukraine election meddling and Hunter Biden's position on the board of corrupt Ukrainian companies, the Democrats label them conspiracy theorists. When the Democrats can't get any traction for their allegations of quid pro quo, they move the goalposts and accuse the president of extortion, then bribery, and at last resort, obstruction of justice. The American people sent us to Washington to solve problems, not to wage scorched earth political warfare against the other party.
He's been talking
This
for so
impeachment
long.
is not helping the American people. It's not a legitimate use of taxpayer dollars. Failed to ensure fairness and objectivity in this inquiry. As such, we need to subpoena Hunter Biden and the whistleblower, Hunter Biden's firm, Rosemont Zeneca,
That.
and the
Okay, that's enough of that. It was just too long.
Gordon
kind of
Sondland
shit
is the
he's
U.S.
doing now a
representative
lot.
to the European Union with the rank of
Like
ambassador.
all the way up until like 6
Before
years
joining
ago,
the
he
State
was like,
Department,
"Hey, you
Ambassador
guys are
Sondland was the
fucking
founder and
assholes
CEO
for doing
of
this
Prominence
shit."
Things
Hotels,
change
a national
change.
owner and operator of full-service
Differently.
hotels. Also, prior to his government service,
No, he
Ambassador
just needs to
Sondland
leave.
was engaged in charitable enterprises. Two final points before our witness is sworn. First, witness depositions as part of this inquiry were unclassified in nature.